Do I still believe that Velo could reach the price of $1 during this bull run, hypothetically speaking, even despite the price pullback? The answer is yes. And again, even though that's not financial advice, the way you take a look at it is that something this special, I just don't see why not. Keep in mind, as of right now, people love AI projects, they love meme coins, some people love blockchain gaming projects, and don't get me wrong, I think there's a place for that, and even I'm bullish on some of those projects. However, I think something that could be such a big narrative during this bull run, I think is something called remittances, or at least projects that are focused on that. And let me show you what I'm talking about when it comes to this, because Velo, after all, is a blockchain-enabled financial system and decentralized settlement network that is designed to make the transfer value between one country to another more efficient. Basically, if we want to just water things down and make it very simple, Velo is focused on cost-effective cross-border payments and as well as remittances. So again, that's the key word here and the key takeaway. Now, let's take a look at, for instance, remittances, because I think this right here could be such a big narrative. And the reason for that is because if you actually take a look at it, this is something that needs a very amazing solution. Because imagine if I was from São Paulo, Brazil, and I was working in Johannesburg in South Africa. Let's say that's the case. Now, this is just a make-believe scenario, but let's say I'm doing this. If I'm working in, again, Johannesburg in South Africa, then what's going to happen? If I'm working in South Africa, I'm going to have to send some to Brazil. And then when I send some to Brazil, that's remittances right there. So if you actually take a look at that, this right here is going to be something that needs an amazing solution because, of course, sending money back home, that's considered remittance in this case, right? So this is why I do believe that, again, something like this does need an amazing solution because there are many international workers out there. There's many people out there who do work abroad, and a lot of them do send money back home to their family, whatever the case may be. And again, it needs an amazing solution. And even the statistics showcase that this is something that is, a very big market. Take a look at, for instance, according to BPB, in 2020, there was nearly 24 million Southeast Asians living outside their country of origin. So could you imagine their remittance there? And also, even according to Grandview Research, the global digital remittance market is expected to reach over $60 billion by 2030. So yeah, this is a very amazing market with, I think, great potential. Now, here's the thing. The amazing thing about Velo is the fact that they are more so focused on the Southeast Asian region. And just like I mentioned before, how back in 2020, there was nearly 24 million Southeast Asians living outside their country of origin. This right here, I think, is a genius move because instead of Velo being focused on just their remittance market overall, they were initially focused on the Southeast Asian region, which I think does narrow things down a bit and makes things a little bit more manageable. Now, it's only fair to assume that eventually, I think Velo is going to have this international global presence in a massive way, which is why I did mention the statistics of just remittances overall. But for the time being, I think being focused on, let's say, the Southeast Asian region, or let's say not the entire world, I think that right there is a good idea. Now, again, I think Velo could very well be this dominating global force in the future, but it's going to be a matter of time. And it's not like it even really matters anyways, because oftentimes people like to say that, oh yeah, when it comes to Velo, it's not going to have the best adoption in the next year or so. But it doesn't really matter because in the world of cryptocurrencies, people care about anticipated adoption as opposed to adoption in its current form. Take a look at, for instance, Solana. Solana is primarily known for meme coins. There's nothing wrong with that. But if people, are asked about Solana, what is the first thing that comes to their mind? It's, these Solana meme coins. That's what they always say. They don't think about the amazing NFT projects, DeFi projects. They often think about, book a meme, dog with hat. They don't think about other projects, typically. I'm not saying everyone, but I'm saying from what I've noticed. So does that constitute as good adoption? I think absolutely not. I mean, come on, let's face it. Solana is a good layer on blockchain, but it doesn't have good adoption. That's just the way to take a look at it, even despite having many good projects on Solana. But even despite that, Solana did pop off in a massive way. So when it comes to Velo, I don't see why that won't also be the case. I don't think it's going to defeat Solana, of course. That'd be crazy, but I'm just saying a glimpse of that, why not? And I made a very good call on Velo, by the way. As of right now, it's having a slight pullback, but in my opinion, it's only expected. When things pump up by that much in such a relatively short amount of time, a pullback is bound to happen, and the journey to the top isn't going to be smooth sailing. There's going to be multiple pullbacks along the way, but I'm prepared for that because I am dollar cost averaging, so anytime I income, I'm acquiring, I'm holding, and I'm just waiting, as opposed to being focused on random price movements on a short-term basis, which could be very volatile. So yeah, I don't want to do that. Now, here's the thing as well. Velo is also focused on something called CDFI. Now, CDFI stands for Centralized Decentralized Finance. Some people may think, okay, this is kind of corny because there is DeFi, there is CeFi. Why do we need something called CDFI? Now, DeFi does stand for Decentralized Finance. CeFi stands for Centralized Finance. And sometimes people don't really like DeFi for whatever reason, even though I do love it. But on the flip side, some people don't entirely like CeFi either in some cases. So what is a good way to combine the good aspects of both CeFi and DeFi while at the same time eliminating all of the caca nonsense? That's through CDFI. And Velo, it's focused on exactly that as well. So this right here, I think, is a genius move. That's a forward-thinking mindset that they have. It's like having a hybrid engine. That's the way to take a look at it. It takes the good aspects of a combustible engine, combines that with electrification in a sense. At least I would say. I'm not a car expert, but I'm just saying. So this right here, I think, is a good thing. It's a kind of like a hybrid engine again. But even besides that, we take a look at how, when it comes to Velo, it does also include something called Quantum, a one-stop lightning speed remittance network, also Universe, a multi-chain super decentralized exchange, even Nova Chain, an affordable universal blockchain network, Orbit, which is a crypto super app, and last but not least, Warp, which is a multi-network cross-chain bridge. This is just a bunch of caca nonsense in my opinion, but you know what? It does add to the benefits of Velo. Even though I'm not really going to think about these aspects when I think about Velo, I think it's pretty good nonetheless, arguably in my opinion. When I think about Velo, all I care about is a good project with good fundamentals. Sometimes people don't really focus on these type of aspects, but I still have to mention it anyways. But even besides that, it also does have a stablecoin called USDV. Now, people may argue that, okay, having another stablecoin is just a complete waste of time and resources, but here's the thing. I would argue, or should I say, the adoption for USDV would beg to differ. Why is that? We take a look at very recently Velo's involvement with BlackRock. And yes, I'm talking about one of the biggest things out there, BlackRock. And more specifically with BlackRock's tokenized short-term treasury fund into their USDV stablecoin. So you could only imagine that USDV is popping as of right now. And I think it's only going to get better from here on out. But even besides that, Velo also recently had a collaboration with the Laos Bullion Bank to integrate gold into blockchain or into the blockchain. So yeah, that's amazing right there. Laos, it's a very amazing country. And also, if you take a look at, again, BlackRock, pretty much one of the biggest things out there. So if you actually take a look at something like, Velo, this is the amazing thing that they're doing. They're thinking about grand visions. They're not focused on partnering up with celebrities or athletes. Some other projects do that, but I think Velo is the type of project that would rather invest it in themselves and actually grow as a result of that in terms of fundamentals as opposed to doing some stuff like that. Now, again, why do I think $1 is realistic? Because as the old saying goes, a high tide raises all ships. And even according to Charles Hoskinson, who is not only the co-founder of Ethereum, but the founder of Cardano, he does predict that based on a video that he was on, or should I say on November, 26, he does predict that in the next 1 or 2 years from then, he could very well see Bitcoin reaching the price of either $250,000 all the way up to $500,000, aka 500,000. Could you imagine that? Now, if let's say Bitcoin just reaches 250,000, his worst case, I think even at that point, $1 for Velo wouldn't seem that crazy at all. Keep in mind, if Velo were to go to the price of $1, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $7.5 billion, which is like peanuts. We've seen Dogecoin reach over 80 billion. This isn't even 10% of Dogecoin's all-time high market cap. I mean, can you believe that? Now, this right here is around a 39x from here. A 39x isn't going to be the best upside, but considering how much Velo is pumped, much like I predicted, by the way, I do believe that doing an additional 39x doesn't seem so bad. Again, there is a pullback, but you know what? It's only expected, and I think better days are ahead. And I've been saying this throughout this whole time. Pullbacks are bound to happen on the journey to the top. And even beyond that, I think 2024 was a small taste of what Velo could hypothetically do. I think 2025 is going to be the time to shine. And that's why I'm still staying patient, still believing in Velo. I haven't sold any Velo, and I don't plan to in the very near future because I think better days are ahead. And again, $1 during this bull run wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.